So today we're going to be looking at the University of Melbourne scholarship, and this scholarship covers your tuition fee. You get a relocation grant, so they're going to be paying for your relocation. They're going to be covering your health insurance. You are going to be getting a stipend of 39,500 Australian dollars per year for the duration of your studies. For doctoral degree, it's 3.5 years, and for Master of Philosophy or Master by Research is 2 years. And there are other benefits that this scholarship offers. Also, the number of scholarship they are giving for this year is 350 for both domestic and international students. 350 scholarship. Now please excuse my voice. I have been recovering from the flu for the past 1 week and my voice hasn't still come back to normal, but I'm just dedicated to the prospect of bringing out 2 videos per week. So I didn't want my voice to be a reason why this video will not be out. So please make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not subscribed, and if you have subscribed, thank you guys. Please like this video and share, and if you need any of our services, please check the description box below and you see the services that we offer. Now for those that are always asking me, let's put the link for the scholarship in the description box down below, so always check for it and just click on it and it's going to take you to the page. Now, how do you know if you're eligible for this scholarship? Now, unlike other RTP scholarships, you don't need to submit an expression of interest, and you do not need to submit any separate scholarship application. What you just do is apply for the course that you are interested in and that you meet the eligibility for, and once you apply for the course, you'll be considered for every scholarship that you are eligible for. Pretty easy, right? Yeah. So let me show you how to apply for it. Now, to be considered for the research training program scholarship, you should have applied and met the entry requirements for a graduate research degree or be enrolled in a graduate research degree at the University of Melbourne. What are some of the selection criteria they consider? Factors such as completion of your previous degree, relevant professional experience, your references, your previous publications if you have, medical qualification, or composition of original music. Those are for those that are into music or the medical field. We are going to be looking at the graduate research scholarship terms and conditions. So we'll just click on this link. Once you click on this link, it's going to take you to this page. Now this page is just going to be telling you everything about the scholarship, the benefits, what it covers, and just everything that it includes. I already told you about the benefits, the relocation allowance. So you see that if you are relocating from outside of Australia, you get 3,000 Australian dollars for your relocation allowance. So there are conditions for the scholarship. You cannot defer the scholarship, so you must start the year that you are offered. So if you apply to start next year, once you get the scholarship, if you decide not to start next year, the scholarship will be withdrawn from you. Now, as I said, that the scholarship for master students, it covers your 2 years, and for doctoral it covers 3.5 years. Sometimes they may decide to extend it to 4 years. So there are a lot of information here if you actually get the scholarship. But let's go back and see actually how to apply as new students. So in order to apply, you're going to be clicking on the graduate research course. Once you click on that, it's going to take you to this page. So in this page, we are international students, right? So they're telling you that you check your entry requirement for your course, how to apply, you get your offer enrollment, and how to pay your fees and payments. But what I'm first going to do is that we're going to be exploring these courses. So the scholarship covers your PhD, Master of Philosophy, or Masters by Research, as long as you are doing a degree that is primarily research. That's why it's called research training program. So I'm going to be picking, let's say, a Master of Philosophy, so an MPhil. I'm going to be applying for an MPhil. So once I click on that, it's going to take me to find courses. So let me click on A to Z. So when we put A to Z, it just opens up the research courses. We can see the doctorate degree, but I said I'm looking for an MPhil. And I'm not looking for an MPhil because I want to. If you are interested in a PhD, pick the PhD course you're interested in. If you are interested in a Master of Research, pick the Master of Research you're interested in. Do you understand? It doesn't have to be an MPhil. I'm just using that as an example. So let's pick a Master of Philosophy in Agricultural Sciences. I don't think I've ever used any agricultural course, for example, in my video. So let me just use that for the first time. So I'll be clicking on Master of Philosophy. So this is the page for the Master of Philosophy. You can see that University of Melbourne is ranked the third university in Australia to study agriculture and forestry, and this university is ranked 22nd university in the world. So it's a pretty good university. So you make sure that you are an international student, right? And you get to see the duration of the course and everything. Now for the duration of the course is 2 years full time. Don't worry about the fees. We are going to be checking the English language requirement later, but once you check, you're going to check the entry requirement. So let's click on entry requirement. You need a 4 years bachelor's degree in a relevant discipline. That's a relevant discipline to the course you are applying for. Make sure you also have a substantial research component, which is at least 25% of 1 year of full-time study. So or you have a master's degree. These are just the qualification for this particular course, right? So the English language, as I said, we'll check it later. Now if you are submitting, this is what they are telling you that you have to submit for this course. You have to submit your CV, you have to submit your research proposal up to 500 words. So they are telling you that this is what this selection committee is going to be considering when they are assessing your application, right, for this particular course. Now you may ask that when is the deadline for the scholarship you are applying for? Now for the University of Melbourne, this scholarship does not have a deadline. The deadline is the deadline of your course. Since you do not have a separate application for the scholarship, they will consider you once you have applied for your course. So you have to make sure that you go with the deadline of your own course. Do you understand? You have to provide a proposed research supervisor. I'm going to be showing you how to look for your supervisor. They need referee's contact details. You also need to provide your referee reports and then attend an interview. Now that is for this course. Not all courses will require all of this. Not all courses require an interview or some other things. Do you understand? So once I've checked the entry requirement, let's go back to overview and see the deadline for this course and see if you can apply for it. So let's go to how to apply. You can check out the career outcomes or student experience. So those that have done this course, what have been their experience in the course, you can just always read that. But for the sake of this video, let's just go straight to how to apply. Now, as I told you, we need to look at the application dates for the course you are applying for. Now there are 2 scholarship application rounds per year. An application for admission may be submitted at any time of the year. However, if you want to be considered for the scholarship, you have to submit your application before one of the scholarship deadlines listed below. Now, what is the scholarship deadline? Now, one of the nearest scholarship deadline is 1st October 2026, right? So you can start your application now before the deadline, which is 1st of October 2026. And for those that apply before 1st October 2026, you'll be commencing your study if given admission in 2027. So maybe February or March, you'll be commencing your study. And the next deadline is going to be 1st February 2027. Do you understand? And you'll be commencing later in 2027. If you want to apply, how do you apply? I've already showed you the entry requirement tab, so how to check if you meet the entry requirement for this program. The next thing you're going to do is that you have to find a prospective supervisor. So if you do not want to propose your own research area, you can check here for research project opportunities. Now these are already advertised projects that there's already supervisor for, and there's topic, you're just going to work under it. So you can click the link here and go there. The only difference with this one is that you have to submit an expression of interest first. Do you understand? But for the normal scholarship that I'm showing you how to apply for, all you have to just do is apply for your course, as I've said earlier. Now you now click on find a research supervisor. So once you click on find a research supervisor, it's going to open here. Now for those that are interested in applying for already advertised projects, these are some of the projects here. You can just check them out, click on it, make sure you check for the deadline and if you meet the eligibility. But for those that are just applying directly and have their own proposal in mind, let's look for supervisor. So we'll click on researchers. So as you click on researchers, click on the ones that are available to supervise. Then the next thing we do is I use MPhil, that's Master of Philosophy in Agricultural Science. So I'll be using, I just want to filter it so that it's easy for me to find supervisor. So this is School of Agriculture, Food and ecosystem. So these are the supervisors that are available and are available to supervise you. So who should I use? Who should I use? So I will use this man here, Tom. He has 38 years of relevant experience and has up to 74 scholarly work. So I'll just be clicking on his right here. So once I do that, it's going to show this is his profile. If you want to his contact, this is his email address, and you can just click on it to take you directly to his email for you to get supervision enquiries. And this is the overview of his study. Let's find out about his, I don't know what's going on, find out about his experience, his journals. You can study with him. He's a research supervisor, and he said, I am available to supervise research projects. These are some of the theses supervised by me. So you can check. This is current. This is one on soil carbon and nitrogen and the rest. So you can just check that. If it's someone you're interested in working with, you can send him an email. And as I always told you before, the email template to email your supervisor is in the community tab, so you can check that out. Although I'll be updating it later. I've found a research supervisor and they have agreed to supervise you. These are some of the documents. I already said it's your CV, your resume, your transcripts. You're going to be needing that. Your referees reports too. You're going to be needing that. Evidence of supervisor's endorsement, right? So you have to use the evidence of supervisor's endorsement form. So this form, you download it and you have to fill it, and also your intended supervisor. Let me just show you what it looks like. This is what the form looks like. So you and your supervisor, your intended supervisor that agrees to supervise you, you are going to be filling this form. So that's part of what you are going to be submitting when you are also applying. Now, after you have done that, they are showing you how to actually prepare your research proposal. So they said you must prepare a research proposal of up to 500 words, and they want to know this should be included: research topic, the aim of your research, key concept and theories, and the rest. So once you have done this and you have gathered all your documents, you will now, before we submit, let me now take you to the English language requirements so that we'll see if you meet that. So for the graduate English language requirements, we are going to be checking about the English language requirements. So you do not have to submit this if you are from a recognized English speaking country. These are the recognized English language speaking countries. So if you are from one of these countries, you do not need to submit any or write any English language test. Now, if you are not from one of these countries, if you have completed an undergraduate degree or a graduate degree, at least 2 years duration in English. So if you have completed a graduate degree before or an undergraduate degree and it was taught entirely in English, then you may satisfy the university English language requirements. Now they said, note, this does not apply to institutions in China, India, Nepal, Pakistan, or Saudi Arabia. So if you are from these countries, even if you have studied in English, it does not apply to you. Don't meet any of those criteria, then you have to submit like IELTS, Pearson test, TOEFL test, and the rest, right? So you can click on it to know the minimum scores that they allow. But I think for Nigerians, Ghana, if your course was taught entirely in English, your previous degree, you should be able to meet the English language requirements without submitting any form. But if you want to confirm, you can always send them an email to ask them. After you have figured out all these things, what the next thing you're going to do, you're just going to be clicking on submit your application online. Once you click on submit your application online, apply as a new student. So you can now apply as a new student, enter the information, your email address and the rest, and then you can start and proceed with your registration on your own. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you for watching.